Good morning, guys. Welcome back to today's video. It is April 15th of 2026. Today is a Wednesday. I did not get up today. I literally missed the setup by a few minutes. I don't know, man. I feel like it's like I don't fully know what I'm doing, so it's like I don't have purpose when I wake up. I don't know, that's a whole other thing. But anyways, I was in bed watching the setup from here. I figured, okay, I pretty much already missed it because the absorption, or what I'm looking for entry, is down here. But let me get onto the deep DOM at least to see what is actually happening. Now, for some reason, what is going on? I'm offline. What does that mean? Hold on one second. Open up trading view again. Yes, thank you. Okay, that's where we at. So, we are very, very bullish. We are literally just about to make all-time highs again, which is kind of crazy because we spent so much time doing this pullback, and these are all the Iran talks, all that shit, and everyone's like, oh, we're fucking going to shit. But in reality, the markets are obviously made by the market makers, and they love to manipulate shit. So this right here is a big old Jewish liquidity grab. Alright, this is what the banks, the hedge funds, the governments are all doing. They're grabbing all of this liquidity, and we literally we make back exactly all of everything that we retraced within like a few days, maybe a week or two, versus over here this was like a couple months, or like 2 months. Anyways, that's kind of irrelevant, but we're very much bullish. 4 hour doesn't indicate anything to me yet, so it's just the 1 hour. The 1 hour is clear as day. This is the second break right here. We have a 1 hour order block right here. We even grab some 1 hour liquidity. So from there, I was kind of looking at the 15-minute because I kind of wanted to see price kind of take out this liquidity here, but it didn't do that. And the only reason why I wanted to see that was because price has technically not really, didn't break any structure that I liked yet. So this was break number 1, but this happened way before. That's pre-fractal. This is a liquidity. This is all wick transfers. Sorry, I don't know why I said liquidity. Where is my curve? So from this point all the way up to this point, it's all a wick transfer, so there's no actual break. So really, our structure looks like this. So from there, I kind of wanted to see all of this liquidity being grabbed, but then we actually made more so like an internal break to the upside. We even break to the upside here. So let's just count this as break number 2. So break number 2. Delete this. Now from there are a lot of order blocks that we can play off of. I do want to kind of say, like, in hindsight, this does look a little bit sketchy just because of all this low resistance liquidity sitting right here, this whole area. Is there maybe a 15-minute? There isn't really. I mean, I guess you could use this. Oh yeah, this was the original order block I had marked up anyway, so I guess that's pretty valid. 15-minute order block right there as well. Now in terms of the 5-minute, it grabbed liquidity and we kind of entered in my area of interest. So from here, it's okay, like, where do we see, can we get a potential entry, right? Now let's say we didn't have a heat map or a footprint chart. This would look really like, I would probably expect price to come and grab all of this, considering this giant bearish candle right here. But what actually ends up happening is if we look, and I'm not going to pull up, I'm going to pull up this instead. This is a screenshot of the heat map. So if I compare this side by side, can I zoom in? Ooh, that's way too much. Right there. Fuck! What did I just do? One sec, guys. My bad. This is the one I want. Get rid of this. Okay, there we go. So this coming down is all of this. You can see all of these huge aggressive orders of sellers coming into the market. And because we're entering my area, I'm looking for these sellers to be absorbed, right? So this area is roughly 707.5. You can't quite see it on here, but pretty much all of this movement, you see huge sellers coming in, and then you see a huge amount of exhaustion. So sellers just immediately hopped out, and we see a huge buyer come into the market and push it back up. Now, if sellers were truly going to take control of this market, we would probably see a small pullback up in terms of aggressive buyers, and we would see another dump, right? But what ends up happening is that we see exhaustion, we see a mix in between of buyers and sellers, and then eventually we see sellers or buyers lift up price. And then I'm pretty sure these passive orders were reloaded, so that's a really good indication or a green flag. And I would have probably gotten in, I want to say right here on this bubble, so that's 708.50 right here. My stops would have been below this bubble, so right around the 704s. Now, using the heat map, I'm based on yesterday and today, I'm starting to kind of understand it, and I'm probably wrong, but is it that easy where we can just kind of see, like, I don't know, like it just looks so obvious on the heat map, but like obvious in the way that, like, okay, aggressive sellers came in, right? We see aggressive buying come in. We see small purple bubbles right here, so that means sellers are now exhausted, they've run out of fuel. Aggressive buyers come in, sellers step back in, they try to push price down, and we kind of have a little bit of a fight in between here, right? And we almost even make like a head and shoulders. Now, chart patterns and technical patterns are irrelevant on a heat map, but it's essentially saying that, like, sellers cannot really push price down any further and buyers are lifting it up. Now, in terms of context, this is all based off of this context where we do have a liquidity grab, we're sitting in an order block, and we have the higher time frame powers. So it makes sense that price could continue to push back up from here. And again, I believe I didn't see this level before when I was like looking at the market, but then it popped up. So then this shows me that bids are being reloaded, which is, again, buyers are putting in more limit orders in case price comes back down, which shows that buyers want to be in the market. And then we just push all the way up. So I think my analogy of that is correct. So really, again, using the heat map, what I want to see is, like, when we enter a zone of interest or like my 5-minute order blocks, I want to see aggressive sellers. For a buy example, I want to see aggressive selling coming in and not moving the market. Or I want to see sellers get exhausted, the bubbles get smaller and smaller, and then I want to see aggressive buyers come in. And I want to see them start to lift the market. Now, you don't want to be the first buyer, so that's why this little range here is useful, because it looks like a big range, but in reality, this is like, let me see if it works on the 1 minute here. This little range is basically this right here, right? A little bit of sellers, a little bit of buyers, and then we see even more absorption right here. Now, if I pull up on the, oh shit, let me just see what it looks like on deep charts as well. Wait, I just realized this is ES. I'm looking for MES. MES. There we go. This was it right here. So we can basically see that huge amounts of buying in this candlestick, and then we immediately reverse right back up. We go from a negative 7.7k delta to a 1.1k delta, showing that buyers are stepping back in, and the next candle even shows a negative delta as well, but much smaller compared to the previous bearish candle. And as you can see here, sellers get absorbed. So you could have even entered like right here, which is basically 7011 versus my entry was down here. So I think the heat map allows me to get a bit of a tighter entry, but yeah, like if I didn't have the heat map, this would have been a good entry after this candle right here. It would have been something like this. Right? It's only a 2R, but yeah, see with the heat map, the precision, you can get like a much better entry using like being down here. Now again, I'm fairly new to using the heat map, so I'm not sure if I'm really doing this correctly, but that's kind of the general idea that I see. And that's kind of all I have for you guys today. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for Thursday.